Hello, everyone. We're getting started right on time today. It's so nice to see you, some of you as returning viewers here, and others for the first time. You're really in for a treat today because, as you know, we have a super exciting topic to cover that much of the community, like yourself, is interested in. Microsoft Dynamics 365 for customer service. What's possible? Part 1. In this two-part series, our Microsoft professional and pre-sales consultant, Tom Lemirand, will unpack these topics through some dynamic demos. But before I let him dive in here, I have a few quick housekeeping notes to cover with you, so sit tight. I'm Julia Flaherty, Marketing Coordinator at Ledgeview Partners. We're a business and technology consulting company who partners with organizations to transform sales, marketing, and customer service operations and processes that are supported by core technologies, including customer relationship management, CRM, and marketing automation. Our certified experts here provide strategic business advice, process definition, and technology solutions that advance business processes forward, helping you to achieve your unique business goals in sales, marketing, customer service, and CRM. Today's webinar is going to take up about a half hour of your time. It is being recorded and will be available on demand after the live session. All attendees will receive a follow-up email after the webinar is complete with a link to access this presentation. So if you haven't already, I highly suggest adding @ledgeviewpartners.com to your Safe Senders list to ensure you have no trouble getting those emails, or if you do happen to find an email from us in your spam folder, go ahead and mark that as not spam. We encourage you to share that link within your professional networks and among your colleagues. To ensure the best audio quality today, we do have you all on listen-only mode, but if you have a question or comment, go ahead and submit those in the question pane of your GoToWebinar control panel. We'll follow up with you afterwards. At Ledgeview, as you can see, we have a lot of excellent resources to offer you, whether you're interested in learning more about topics like we're covering today, or maybe some marketing or other CRM or customer service, sales. You know, we've really put together a comprehensive library of resources here that everyone can benefit from in some way, no matter what you're interested in or what your day-to-day function is like. So now that you know more about who we are as an organization, I want to welcome Mr. Tom Lemirand. Tom is a Microsoft certified professional as well as a Salesforce certified admin and Force.com developer. He has over 9 years of experience working in CRM environments, and he says he loves CRM because it's the MacGyver of application platforms and can be used for anything. You're sure to see that passion and experience in Tom shine through in today's presentation. So now that you have all of that information in your noggins, I'll hand it over to you, Tom.
All right, thank you very much, Julia. So today we are covering, customer service management. So again, it's not a brand new topic within inside of Dynamics 365, but since a lot of you are on 9.0, either if you're CRM Online, you are 9.0, or even on-premise now has the ability to upgrade to 9.0. I wanted to show you this because with the new user interface inside of 9.0, it gives you a different user experience, and I feel that this really benefits from a customer rep or customer agent's perspective. So today, as you notice, this is kind of a two-part series. So today we're going to cover the basics, right? So we're going to cover case management. We're going to talk about email queues and auto creation. We'll look at service level agreements, entitlements, and knowledge base. So again, I'm going to try to keep this within the time limit here for the 30 minutes. So how I'm going to do this demo is that, first of all, I'm just going to kind of do day in the life scenario of an agent, how they come in the morning and how they can go from, seeing, drilling down through a dashboard and then going into a case, managing a case, resolving that case. And then once you kind of see how that all works, I'll go behind the scenes a little bit to show how some of these other areas are set up, from a knowledge base to auto creation of a case, just to kind of show you the power of the tool. Now, again, I just want to reiterate that none of these are brand new features or functionality, but we really feel that with the newest version of 9.0, it really kind of provides more capabilities with this new user interface. So with that, I don't like being in the PowerPoint for too long. I like to be right in the tool. So let me convert over to Dynamics here for a second. All right. Okay. So I am in a D365 environment. It's an online environment, but like I mentioned before, anyone that's on premise, you do have the ability to upgrade to the V9. Everything that I am showing you today in this Part 1 series is available in both environments. So nothing here is online only. When we get to Part 2, unfortunately, a lot of that is going to be online only, but we will, get to that at that time. So, like I mentioned, I'm a rep. My specialty right now is around 3D printing, but I'm coming in this morning, and this is the dashboard I'm going to log into when I first get in here. And so it's pretty nice. I can go into here on the left-hand side and see all the active cases. I can kind of see some, again, what are some cases by product, by priority, where are they coming in from, how many people, or how many have I resolved already. And then also what I can do is that I can come in here and say, okay, you know what, I have a queue of items that I need to be looking at. And so I can actually go over here and see, okay, there's 2 items that I should be taking on right now. So, very quickly I can go into here and figure out what I need to be working on. But like I mentioned, 3D printers are kind of my passion or my area of expertise. And I've been noticing here that, okay, we have a trend. We have 4, carbon fiber printers that are having issues. So I'm going to drill into that. And of those 4, we have 3 that are high. So I'm going to drill into that to see the high cases. And now I can see that they're all coming by phone. But more importantly, an issue with the carbon fiber. I don't recognize this case. So I'm going to go into this case because I feel these other 2 look familiar, but they're all around the same thing. They're all getting to about 75% complete, and then they're failing. So let's dive into what's happening with this issue. So now what I did was I drilled right in from the dashboard to go right back into the case. So now in this case, very quickly I can see who the customer is. It's City Power and Light. As I keep scrolling down on here, I can see that I haven't met my SLA yet. It is, we have only 33 minutes left to meet that SLA. But what does this do? It's great that there's a timer right here, but SLA again is service level agreement. But what this does is that behind the scenes, it actually is providing some actions with this too. So what I did is that I actually received an email because this is nearing the expiration and I haven't done anything with it yet. I actually received an email. So let me just open up my email right here and just show you what I received. So I got this email. It just says, you know what, please make contact on this case. I can click this link, and if I click on this link right here, it will actually bring up the case. But, that's great, but now I'm going to be in a whole separate window. Since I want to stay inside of my email maybe and just look at the case from my email, but keep staying in Outlook, I can go into this item right here, which is the new Dynamics 365 app for Outlook. So this is replacing the plugin. For those of you that know that the plugin is still available, just to let you know that the plugin is not going away. But this app is just more dynamic than what the plugin is. It's less intrusive, and also it can be used in multiple different areas. Notice that I am on Outlook Web Access, and I have access to interact with my CRM or Dynamics 365 environment right through Outlook Web Access. This is also available through mobile, and then of course it can also be done on my client directly like you're normally used to doing. But with that, I can go into here and say that, okay, this case, it's the issue with the 3D. I see it's assigned to the administrator right now, but I want to see some more information about this case right here in Outlook. So I'm just going to click on this case name. And then right here inside of Outlook, it's going to bring up the case. And if I just switch back here, it's the exact same look and feel. It's just in a different, a little bit smaller. So I can tell it's a high priority. I can see who it's for. It's for City Power and Light. I can see my SLA in here. And then I can keep scrolling down and see, what's happening with this case, who's all responded to the case, what's in my timeline. So now, again, it gives me multiple different ways for me to be able to interact and get alerted to the cases. And this is part of the SLA piece. Again, think about it as workflows behind the scenes, but there's specific SLAs that we can set up, and we'll dive into more of the SLAs as we keep going through the case. So I'm going to go back to my case form here because it's a little bit easier to see in the bigger screen right here. as I keep scrolling down, I'm just going to look at some of the information about this case. So I can tell where it's coming from. Well, here's something nice, entitlement. So I can tell that they have premium support with us. So what does that mean? So I'm going to actually open up this entitlement. And for those of you that know customer service in the past, think of service contracts, but don't think of the limitations that service contracts provided. So they're actually replacing service contracts with entitlements. Service contracts are actually getting sunsetted, so they will no longer work. You'll have to convert over to these items. But let's take a look at what this entitlement allows us to do here. Is that, again, it tells us who it is, when is the start and end date of this. Should we restrict the creation of cases based on these getting created? So you can say yes or no. I can see that, all right, they get about 50 cases a year. They've already had one, so they have 49 remaining. We're actually limiting how they can contact us. We're saying of those 50, 25 can only come through phone. The other 50 have to come through a different channel. And notice they already used one of those, so it can count how many times it's coming through channel or limited during the channels. We can talk about what products this agreement or entitlement is for. So notice that is that carbon 3D filter or 3D printer. So it is available for this entitlement. And then we can see who can open up cases based on this entitlement. So we can put some contacts that are specifically related to this contract. We can also come into here and based on this is like a premium entitlement, we could have different SLAs. So maybe the first response for a premium one is shorter than what it is for just a standard non-premium response. So we can have different levels of SLA and apply them accordingly to our entitlements. So very quickly at a glance, I can come into here and just kind of see what type of support and what we are supporting for this customer. What's even nicer is that if I don't want to click down in that, I just want to kind of see what they have left on, because I know that they have this entitlement area here based on it being filled in. I can actually over here on the related side see cases that they have worked with that are currently open or that we are resolved in the past. But then also if I keep scrolling down, I can see, okay, they have 49 left on this premium support entitlement. So very quickly, I don't have to click into it if I just want to see what number they're at. And then again, maybe if they're getting down shorter, I might want to just talk to their account manager, or we can even have stuff triggered that once it gets to a certain point, maybe we ask them to re-up their entitlement. So there's lots of things we can do around, those contracts or those entitlements inside of Dynamics. All right, so let me just take a look at this. Is that, it gets stuck and it says that a switch gets stuck at about 75%. All right. So then the really nice thing is that this timeline. So I know with those of you that have, either 9.0 and haven't switched over to this new user interface or even previous versions of Dynamics, what you have here is that this is where I would say that social pane used to be. And notice that you would have tabs before. You'd have a post tab. You'd have an activity tab. You'd have a notes tab. You could also have a OneNote tab. So there could be multiple tabs, but you wouldn't see everything together. This timeline is something new with the new user interface that I think is very helpful from a customer service standpoint. So inside of here now, I can go into here and say everything that has happened so far in here. So notice we have some posts that just saying, because of these issues they're having, notice they're having multiple issues. So this isn't the first time they've had an issue with these 3D printers. So maybe we should send someone out there, and we recommend Alan. And Alan replies back and says, yep, he can do that. I will say this is very simple and generic field service, so we can cover field service at another time. But I just want to show you kind of where you can have that internal interactions inside of this timeline through the post items. I can also go into here and say, okay, so here's some emails that were sent. Here's the email that was sent to me to let me know that I need to, respond to this case before we run out of, before it fails on the SLAs. But then what's more important is that, all right, here's an actual email from the end user, and now it gives me a picture of what the error is. So I just want to take a look at that. So I'm just going to click on this. It actually downloads the image right over here. So I'm going to open this up. All right. now I can see what the error is. All right, perfect. I can, hopefully from this it gives me a little bit more information. But now what's nice is that I don't have to go and open up the email, look at where the attachments are, and kind of go like 2 or 3 levels deep. It gives it to me all right here on this timeline. And I can keep scrolling down to see what else is happening. All right, someone talked to them already. And again, kind of what we know already. This was the original phone call that came in. It gets 3/4 of the way down, and they get general error message, and then we can tell when the actual case was created. So perfect. So inside of here, I'm actually going to just create a new phone call and just log a phone call inside of here. And I just called them and I said follow up. And based on what I'm seeing, I think an on-site visit is the best. So I'm just going to say on-site visit recommended. All right, and then I'll just save and close that. So now, again, anyone that knows what's happened here can, see this history on here and see who's all talked to this company or to this person about this case. The other nice thing, if you haven't seen this timeline, I just want to show you this, is that there's other nice capabilities in this timeline. Sometimes this timeline can be very, very long, right? If I'm doing an email conversation with people or if multiple people are talking to them about this, and there could be 10, 15, 20 different items in this timeline. If I don't want to just scroll all the way down, I'm actually able to filter on this timeline right through here. So I can open up the filter pane. I can do some filtering just based on here's open activities versus closed activities. If I want to see different people's posts, I can filter on specific posts. Otherwise, I can add more filters into here. So I can filter by different items that are inside of here. Maybe I only want to see all the emails, or maybe I only want to see all the phone calls that were made, with this case. So this is a nice area in here that I think really provides value to a customer service agent, because now they can very quickly see what's been happening, who's been working with them, maybe even chat with some people through the different posts and see it all in a nice single timeline. All right. As we keep moving over, we already talked about the related or the recent cases that this customer has had, and we noticed that they've been having a lot of issues with 3D printers. We already talked about the entitlements, but what I also like here is that I'm going to go over here, and now that there's knowledge base issues, or knowledge base articles, I should say. So inside of here, what it does is that it automatically filters based on my case title. So it's just filtering on the case title, and here are some relevant knowledge base articles about this, what they found in that case. So I can link items to here, so I can link this directly from here. I can open this knowledge base article if I wanted to from here to read some more items. But this really nicely allows me to, stay on one page, search kind of what's happening, and then from here link it and send out knowledge base articles right from this one area. So let's take a look at what else is on the case here. I can go into here, and again, this is just standard CRM practice, but I can have multiple fields, right? My summary page is what I want to take a quick look at, but now notice within inside of the new user interface, they've kind of brought back tabs. And so now you can have different tabs on how you want to look at the different information on here. What I will say is that my SLA, how I meet my SLA, is very low tech. So all I did to meet my SLA is that this first response, I just switch it to yes. Save the changes on here. I just save it manually. It does have the auto save on there still, but once that refreshes, then when we go back to the summary page, you will see that now the SLA will be completed. So again, this is nothing new, but now, again, if you have additional information that you want to enter about this case, that can be added on into here. And then here's your related entities that go against this case. So before, you'd have to go up in the navigation bar to see all the related information. Now it's just a tab inside of here. And if I open up any of these items, like documents can integrate with my SharePoint. If I open up any of these, it just opens it up as another tab inside of here. So if I just say I'm going to look at connections, notice it just makes a connections tab inside of here. So this is the new user interface. and again, specifically around how customer service can use it around cases. Just like you can with your normal forms that you have in your current user interface, you can have multiple different types of forms. So I can drop this down if I want to have different types of forms on here, just depending on how many forms I have. So all the same capability that I'm used to having, I still have inside of here. All right, so this is the new navigation area. Now it's on the side. It still gives you that breadcrumb look and feel going across the top. But now what I will show you is that I'm going to go actually into some of the areas inside of here that are inside the cases. So this is my new navigation area. It's very similar to what you see in other areas for customer service, but I'm going to go to knowledge articles right here. So once I look at these different knowledge articles, so I just want to take a look at items. So let me just take a look at how to support 3D scanners. So why I'm bringing this up is that this is a brand new area inside of Dynamics that allows you to do a lot more editing and creation of your knowledge articles compared to what they used to have inside of Dynamics. So now if you notice that there's a very nice content editor inside of here. So through here I can import pictures into here. I can take stuff from Word or from different text areas. Again, I have a very nice way to, be able to edit all the different types of how I want the font, how I want it to look and feel. Just a lot more capabilities. If I want to go right behind the scenes and actually edit the HTML, I have the ability to manage the HTML through here. And then also, this is a really nice area, is that it gives me a preview. So what is it going to look like when I'm looking at this from a desktop, or what is it going to look like when I'm looking at it from a mobile, or if I'm switching the different mobile area. So this is just, again, I just want to show you this editor because some people knew that there was knowledge-based articles in previous versions of the customer service area, but I do want to tell you that they have really made that improvement. That's one of those areas that when they acquired Parature a while ago, they incorporated their knowledge-based functionality and now built it directly into the tool. All right. So the next area that I want to cover is kind of the behind the scenes now, going back into the service management area inside of here. So they are incorporating it into the new user interface. So notice this is the service area, so this is what the users will look at. There's actually an area if you have access to go into service management. And so when I go into service management, notice now how it looks at the different areas where it can look at queues and different items inside of here. So now what I can do is that from here I can actually do some editing of some items. I can edit my entitlements. I can set up additional queues. I can do different items. The one area that's not in here that I did want to cover with you is the actual record creation logic. So what I'm going to show you now is that I'm going back to the old interface. So this should be familiar to everyone. If you have access to this in the settings area, you can go to service management. So most of these things are now in the new user interface. The one area that the reason why I came here is that here's this automatic record creation. So what this can do now is that I can be monitoring a queue, and any emails that come into that queue can automatically get created. And let me just show you behind the scenes on that just quickly here. So here's just a simple record creation rule. So it's for incoming cases to auto create. It's managing this queue called support inbox. This support inbox, let me just open up this queue just quickly. So this support inbox is just an email address, right? So I just have it as support at my domain. I'm just saying convert all incoming email messages to email activities. So this is really, and notice it's a public type of queue. So again, anyone can look at this and anyone can use this. But the importance of it is that I actually have this rule linked to that queue. So anything that comes into that is actually going to be using this rule set. So now here are just some simple, record creation conditions that I can set really quickly. Is that, do I want to create cases for unknown senders? And, in my case, yes, I do. This is where you can start incorporating entitlements. So do you want to automatically create a case only if they have an entitlement? And it depends on how your service, how your service contracts are written up and how your support is, but this can be very tightened. And now, only ones that have entitlements can get these cases automatically created when they send an email over. And then, so this is another area where sometimes incoming emails might be related to an existing case. Do you want to log it to a case that's resolved? Again, as you know, in a resolved case, it locks it, but now you can append activities onto it still. This is another area that I like is that, when I'm creating that, sometimes I just want to have that auto response, right? I just want to automatically say, hey, yes, I received your case, or I received your email. Here's your case number. Someone will be following up in X amount of time. So I can do that here. So if I hit this to yes, notice now I select an email template. So when I have my email templates built out, now I can automatically send an email based on, them creating a brand new case through this auto creation rules. So then how does that work then? So now it's saying that once we kind of meet these conditions, what do we want to do? Let's create a case. So in this create a case record, you can put additional conditions on, filters. Maybe you want to look at where it's coming from, size, different things that you can look at. You can put a condition on here to create this case. And then you have actions, right? And then if any of you have experienced workflows behind the scenes, this is very similar to what the workflow editor is. So what I'm saying right now is that the first thing I want to do is I want to create this case, and then the email that comes into it, I want to append it to the case that I just created. When I go to these case properties here, again, this is where it's going to be very similar to what you look at when you're inside a workflow. But this just gives me the case form, and then what is going to come onto the case form from the email and other things if I want to set some pieces inside of here. So notice that it automatically will set the case title. It'll set the customer based on who it can find. It will set the origin, of course, because it's going to be coming from emails. But then I could go into here and set any of these other additional channels or additional items that if I want to set it up because I know it's coming from the email, if there's some things I want to auto set. So again, just like you see inside a workflow, that maintenance and management is inside of here. All right. So again, if we go back to this, I just want to show you. So this is where you can set up manage queues. We can do routing rules. I didn't really go into routing rules too much, but you can either manually route a case someplace else, or you can have it automatically create a route. And again, that's where you configure it inside of here. Here's your entitlements again, your service level agreements. So you can set up a holiday schedule, and you can set up different working schedules too. So some of the questions people have around SLAs are really, you know what, if I get an email at 2 a.m., I don't want to have a 4-hour SLA on it because my team doesn't get in until 7, so by the time they get in, it's going to be expired. So you can actually have SLAs and different things set up based on your holiday and working schedules so that your timers and everything are being done appropriately inside of the environment. So I know we covered a lot in a short amount of time, but I hope you at least saw the benefits of using, the new user interface inside of here. So let me just go back into here and just kind of highlight. Again, I can go to my cases. You still have your same views that you are used to with your old user interface, so that hasn't changed. These grids can be editable, just like that just came not too long ago. But this new user interface that I just showed you, I think is very beneficial for your customer service team to utilize this. So with that, I think we're just about at time. So I'm going to transition back over to the hold on here. I'm going to transition back over to the slides here. All right. And Julia, I think I'll let you close it out.
Great. Thank you so much, Tom, for that awesome demo. I love seeing it come to life. I think it really helps us all understand how we can use the system better in our day-to-days. I'm super excited for part 2 of this series, and before you hop off the call today, I invite you all to join us for that next session. You'll see the registration information on your screens there, as well as the registration information for our upcoming Microsoft Dynamics 365/CRM user group webinar, where we will be focusing on another hot topic, mobile. You don't need to be a customer of ours to attend. Everyone is welcome to join us. As for today's session, we'll be sending everyone a link to access this on demand shortly later today, and you can share that within your professional networks. Once again, that email will be coming from Ledgeview Partners, so be sure to add us to your safe senders list. With any questions you didn't get to ask during today's presentation, you can reach out via email, social, or give us a call, whatever you like. All right, that's all for today, folks. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you again very soon.